On the night the clock stopped working, Mira stood alone on platform 9 with a paper ticket clenched in her fist. The station lights flickered like tired eyes, and the air smelled of rain and iron and old promises. According to the departures board, the last train would arrive at 11:11 p.m., a time that never moved forward no matter how long she stared at it. Everyone said the city was broken, but Mira knew better. The city wasn't broken. It was grieving. She had learned this after the clocks froze. People thought it was a power issue, then a software failure, then a government cover-up. None of that explained why watches stopped only when worn, or why phones displayed the right time until you tried to remember something you had lost. The moment nostalgia crept in, the numbers blurred. Mira worked in the Department of Small Errors, a forgotten office in the basement of City Hall. Her job was to log things that went missing without explanation: single socks, childhood nicknames, the taste of a grandmother's soup. Most cases went unresolved. Some were quietly returned years later, misplaced in memory rather than space. 3 months ago, her own case file appeared on her desk. Subject: Mira Cade. Missing item: the future she planned with Jonah Hale. Last seen: platform 9. Jonah had vanished the same night the clock stopped. One moment he was beside her, joking about how trains always smelled like burnt coffee. The next, the doors closed, the whistle blew, and he was gone, not on the train, not on the platform, but erased from the small, daily expectations that made up a life together. Everyone else forgot him quickly. Friends frowned when she said his name, as if trying to recall a word in a language they no longer spoke. Only Mira remembered, and remembering hurt. Tonight, she hoped the last train would remember too. The wind shifted, and a low hum rolled through the tracks. The train arrived without sound, sleek and dark, its windows glowing softly. No destination was listed. Just one word etched into the metal doors: return. Mira stepped inside. The car was empty except for rows of worn seats and a conductor standing at the far end. He wore a uniform that looked decades out of date, and his face carried the calm of someone who had seen every version of goodbye. Ticket? He asked. Mira handed over the paper ticket. It was blank when she received it, but now words shimmered across it. One memory. Non-refundable. Her throat tightened. Which memory? The one that weighs the most, the conductor said gently. That's how the train knows where to go. She thought of Jonah's laugh, the way it started quiet and surprised him every time. She thought of their shared plans: a small apartment with too many books, a dog they'd name Atlas, a future that felt ordinary and infinite. The ticket burned slightly, then cooled. The words vanished. The train lurched forward. Outside the windows, the city blurred, not into speed, but into moments. Mira saw her childhood bedroom, her mother braiding her hair, her first day at work in the basement office. Then Jonah appeared, sitting across from her like he'd never left. "Hey," he said. "You took your time." She laughed and cried at once. "You disappeared." "No," he said softly. "I stayed. You moved forward." They talked as the train rolled through memory after memory. Jonah explained that some people fell out of time when they tried to hold on to futures too tightly. The city hadn't broken, it had paused, waiting for its people to let go of what could no longer be carried. "What happens when the train stops?" Mira asked. Jonah smiled, sad and warm. "It always stops." The conductor's voice echoed down the car. Final station. The train slowed. Outside, dawn crept into the sky, pale and uncertain. Mira felt the weight lift from her chest, not gone, but lighter, reshaped. Jonah stood. "You won't remember me like this," he said. "But you'll remember how to hope." She reached for him, but her hands passed through air. The doors opened. Mira stepped onto platform 9. The clocks ticked forward for the first time in months. Behind her, the train vanished. Mira walked up the stairs into a city learning to breathe again. She didn't remember Jonah's face clearly anymore, or the exact sound of his laugh. But she smiled at strangers, and the future no longer felt like something stolen. It felt like something waiting. #the last train.